The day before new student registration I joined the freshman group chat using a WeChat alt account with a female gender setting. As soon as I entered the group, I saw a girl with a clown avatar asking, "How big are the school dorms? I'm a bit of a neat freak. Can I invest 10 million to apply for a private dorm? What's the campus environment like? Is there a helipad? My family wants me to come by private helicopter, and how's the cafeteria? At home we're used to Michelin 3-star chef standards. I can't really stomach anything else." The group fell eerily silent. Seeing no one reply, she impatiently sent another message. "Is anyone here? Is this group active? Is there parking available? I'm worried my brand new XL Ferrari might get scratched if parked off campus." Attached was an extremely flashy photo of a Ferrari sports car. I chuckled, "What a show off, let me handle this." My fingers flew across the keyboard. Michelin 3-star chefs are just okay. My dog actually loves their food. After every meal he can run 3 laps around my tens of thousands of square meters of golf course. Attached was an artistic photo of my dog Sang Sang sprinting across a grassy field. "But I share your dilemma. I don't know where to park my Porsche either." Attached was a watermark-free Porsche photo I'd snagged from Jihu. The show-off didn't catch my sarcasm and went on, "This dog really suits my taste. I'll bring it to my 2000 square meter lavender estate for a walk someday. Sis, your car is nice. You've got taste just like me. I'm willing to buy 2 parking spots, one for you and one for me." I smiled and replied, "Sure, it's not a big deal. I won't chip in. Our cars parked together will definitely look super cool." The show-off responded, "No problem sis, it's nothing, we're friends now. The price of a private parking spot is nothing to worry about for people like us. Honestly, I'm even thinking of not driving this car to school anymore. It's a bit small at my barefoot height of 175 cm. I feel a bit cramped inside." I continued, "You're so right sis, at my barefoot height of 177 cm I can't stretch my legs in a sports car either. If it really doesn't work I might just stop driving it and make do with the extended Rolls-Royce from home." The show-off replied again, "That car is pretty good too. At least you can stretch your legs. My family has the same model. If it doesn't work out we can have the driver bring that one when school starts." I continued replying, "That won't do. I absolutely have to come by helicopter. It's faster after all since air traffic isn't congested." Suddenly a group member chimed in, "I've been watching for a while now and I'm sure this isn't just a joke. It's already made 3 people laugh. Where did these 2 show-offs come from? Are you guys okay? Acting like you're second on the Forbes list on Douyin? You're really putting on an act. Where did this rich young lady come from? If you actually own that car I'll wash my hair standing on my head." The show-off continued, "I was just asking some very ordinary questions. Is this classmate a bit too hot-headed? And as for being second on Douyin I wouldn't dare claim that, but how do you know my family is in the top 10 on the list?" I followed up with, "I was just answering some very ordinary questions for her. Is this classmate a bit too hot-headed?" The group member went on, "I can't stand you people who talk nonsense as soon as you open your mouth. Sometimes looking at the freshman group chat feels pretty helpless. I want to call 110. Can we kick these 2 out? It's really unbearable to watch. Do they both have delusions? Talking about luxury cars while secretly riding shared bikes. These show-offs should just leave the group already." The show-off stopped speaking in the group so I didn't continue either. Suddenly a friend request popped up on WeChat. It was from that show-off rich young lady named Chloe. I accepted it instantly. Chloe continued, "Sis, the classmates in the group aren't very friendly to us too. Let's talk privately. I actually have the same car as yours, just a different paint job. How about I have my dad airship it over when school starts and we can swap and drive each other's? Is this girl never going to stop?" I said, "Okay, no problem." The next day for registration I showed up at the new school riding a shared bike with 2 big dark circles under my eyes. I'd spent the whole night going back and forth with that Chloe online. She'd already crowned me her best college sister and asked to meet me at the sports field at 10 today, even saying she'd take me for a spin in her family's helicopter. I smirked. Today I was determined to see Chloe make a fool of herself. After registration it was almost 10. I quickly logged into my alt account and messaged her, "Sis, where are you?" Chloe replied instantly, "I've been waiting for you on the sports field for ages." "Ruby, what color are you wearing?" Ruby was the fake name I gave her. My real name is Liam. I ambled unhurriedly to the sports field only to find it completely surrounded by a dense crowd. A helicopter was precisely parked right in the middle of the students' encirclement. Through the throng I saw a slender, exquisitely beautiful, innocent-looking girl leaning casually against the helicopter. At that moment Chloe was impatiently glancing at her phone. "Where are you? Where are you, little bookworm? Why are you so slow? Why so sluggish, little homebody?" My phone vibrated slightly. It was a message from Chloe. My mind went completely blank. This young lady really was loaded. Everything she said yesterday was true. The fool turned out to be me. "What's going on, Ruby? Did your crappy car break down halfway? I told you Porsche engines are no good. This time you should buy a Bugatti, right? If that's not possible you can pick one from my collection. I was just planning to clear out my garage anyway. Consider it a welcome gift from your sister. Hey, where are you? Say something." I snapped back to reality and immediately turned to run, logging out of my alt account as I fled. Damn, if she found out I not only lied to her but was also a guy, would she fly into a rage and kill me? They say rich people have the weirdest tempers. What if she made me disappear without a trace? I'm still young with parents to care for and a dog to feed. The best strategy is to retreat. I quickly hauled my suitcase to the dorm room where 2 roommates had already arrived. The male dorms were 4-person suites with bunk beds and desks below. The spots by the window were taken, so I ended up with the bed near the door. A lanky guy greeted me first. "Hey, I'm Harry. This is William. We'll be roommates from now on." Next to him stood a burly-looking guy. I'm Liam, we're all brothers in this dorm now. We chatted while making our beds and unpacking. William kicked off the conversation. You know what? When I checked in earlier I saw a helicopter parked downstairs with a girl standing beside it. She was stunning. Any idea who she is? My hands froze as I spread the sheets. Looks like this explosive news had already spread across the whole campus. Harry had a starstruck look on his face. I saw it too when I arrived. A rich man's daughter, the super rich kind, but mainly that face of hers is just unreal. Totally the campus belle. Both of them turned to ask me, Liam, what do you think? Me? I didn't get a good look. They nodded at my answer and kept going. William fantasized, if I could be her boyfriend I'd be over the moon. Pretty and rich. Harry added, oh right, this heiress is one of the show-offs flaunting their wealth in the freshman group chat yesterday. William asked, what about the other one? Besides her I didn't see any other girl arriving in a luxury car. I couldn't help but twitch at the corner of my mouth. The other one is right next to you. Just as the atmosphere was getting painfully awkward, our fourth roommate showed up. A guy decked out head to toe in MP haute couture dragging a large LV suitcase walked in. He gave the dorm room a disdainful once-over, pinched his nose and complained, just got back from studying in the States. Damn, what's with this place, Dad? How can anyone live here? It's like a slum. What if all my high-end luxury goods get stolen? The guy gave the three of us a disdainful glance. I heard some roommates in college steal things. What if my limited edition AJs go missing? Harry spoke up, seriously, are you crazy? If you're sick go see a doctor. This is a college dorm. Who's stealing anything? The guy looked disgusted. Be quiet, okay? I really can't stand breathing the same air as vulgar people like you. William got angry too. We're all going to be roommates from now on and we haven't done anything to you. Why do you have to be so nasty? The guy sneered arrogantly. Nasty? I'm just telling the truth. You guys come over and help me make my bed. My uncle is a school trustee here. If I'm in a good mood I might. Looking at his haughty face, an idea suddenly struck me. Big bro, with all your money you wouldn't expect us to work for free, right? 2,000 to make your bed once deal? I'll do it. The guy's expression changed. 2,000? Why don't you just rob a bank? I pretended to cover my mouth in exaggerated shock. 2,000 must be a drop in the bucket for a young master like you, right? Don't tell me the big shot can't even afford 2,000. The guy looked disgusted. No problem, poor people just can't hide their stingy aura. He reluctantly pulled out his phone, added me on WeChat and transferred me the 2,000 yuan. Looking at the freshly deposited 2,000 in my account, I earnestly and cheerfully helped him make his bed. Only a fool would turn down easy money. The guy introduced himself. I'm Joe. You can also call me by my Chinese name Ling Wuji. Even though I'll have to squeeze in with you poor folks for the next 4 years of college, as long as you listen to me I won't treat you badly. My fiancée is the girl from the sports field today. You all must have seen her. We're destined to be in different social circles, so don't even think about trying to climb the social ladder. Stay away from my fiancée. I sighed helplessly. Of course show-offs end up with other show-offs. I wasn't the least bit surprised that Chloe had a fiancé like Ling Wuji. Harry and William looked at Joe, both having just transferred 2,000 yuan to me, and felt a bit uneasy. If his family really was that wealthy, then offending him was something they couldn't afford. Joe left after delivering his harsh words, leaving the three of us in the dorm room staring at each other. I chuckled. What are you guys standing around for? Think of it as an early internship. Money falling from the sky. Whatever he asks us to do we'll just charge him for it. Today I treated everyone to a meal at the school cafeteria, so using the 2,000 yuan Joe gave me I covered the bill. That night Joe didn't return to the dorm and the three of us enjoyed the peace and quiet. Before bed I nervously logged into my alternate account. Chloe's messages had already reached 99. Sis, where are you? You stood me up. I waited for you on the field for a whole hour. Where'd you go? Is my helicopter not flashy enough for you? Fine, since you're the friend I've decided to make at school I'm willing to get a better one for you, okay? Hey, can you say something? I let out a long sigh. Harry asked, what's wrong, Liam? I stammered out my question. Just suppose you have a friend who deceived another person and that other person considered him a sworn brother. If it were discovered that it was all a lie, what would happen? Harry translated incoherently. You mean your friend lied to his friend about some things, and if he confessed, how would his friend view him, right? I sighed. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Harry pondered. Probably wouldn't stay friends anymore. In any case there shouldn't be any retaliation. Retaliation. Those two words were all that remained in my mind. I absolutely must not let Chloe find out that I am Ruby. Absolutely not. The first week of freshman orientation was for everyone to get familiar with the environment and each other, with no classes every day aside from meals. I hid in the dorm room, afraid to go out, terrified of running into Chloe and looking guilty. Joe hadn't returned to the dorm all week. No one knew where he went. Harry, William and I had already become good friends. Our favorite thing to do every night was play games and chat about gossip. Harry said mysteriously, you know what? Someone ran into the helicopter girl again today. Her name's been dug up. It's Chloe. Apparently she's going around asking every department if there's a girl named Ruby. Seems like she got her heart broken. William gasped. Wow, 2 girls sparking something. Sounds juicy, tell me more. Harry continued. Ruby seems to be another show-off in the group. They agreed to meet on the field, but Ruby stood Chloe up. They've got issues, real issues. I hid under the covers secretly listening to Harry and William's gossip, my heart pounding nervously. William suddenly realized, wait, isn't Chloe Joe's fiancée? If Chloe likes women, what's up with Joe? Harry replied, rich people's quirks, we just don't get it. And so a week flew by quickly and I officially plunged into the intense grind of college life, attending classes day after day. Joe finally showed up at school with small groups of girls fawning over him. He seemed to relish the attention, looking at us smugly. "Don't get any ideas about me," he said. "This whole outfit was bought by my fiancée. This watch? Just 100,000 or so. Nothing major." The three of us watched him, feeling utterly uncomfortable, and barely made it through the required class. For the elective I wasn't with them. I had chosen it as my minor. The classroom was already sparsely filled with students from other departments. I found a seat in the corner, playing on my phone while waiting for class to start as exclamations erupted in the room. I followed the crowd's gaze. Chloe stood conspicuously at the classroom entrance, then strolled in leisurely. I quickly ducked my head under the desk. Even though there were no photos, I still felt inexplicably guilty. Chloe unhurriedly took a seat right next to me. Gasps echoed all around, followed by a ripple of hushed whispers. "Doesn't Chloe already have a fiancé? It's that law student Joe, right? It's all over campus today. Chloe is actually in our class. Her beauty is absolutely stunning." The students' murmurs gradually grew louder. "Keep it down, don't let her hear." I still didn't dare look up. Chloe gritted her teeth. "Ruby?" Chloe's gentle voice sounded above my head. I stiffly raised my head and forced a smile. "Classmate, my name is Liam, not Ruby." Chloe sneered. "Liam, is it? I thought your real name was Ruby." I awkwardly laughed along. Chloe looked me up and down. "Where did you park your Porsche?" I replied guiltily. "You really have the wrong person." She leaned in closer, staring intently at me. She opened our chat interface and directly transferred 52000. The real name verification showed. "Liam, isn't it a coincidence?" she said. "I checked all the school records and you're the only one named Liam." I was at a loss for words and said, "I was wrong. Who would have thought that a wealthy heiress like you would post those things in the freshman group chat like a grade schooler? No normal person would think it was real, right?" Chloe sneered. "You deceived me and then you went missing on top of that. Did you really think I couldn't find you?" "I really was wrong," I said. "I thought you were joking." Chloe was furious. "Do you have any idea how hot it was yesterday? I wasted so much time I could have spent in the air conditioning standing outside like an idiot waiting for you, and you just disappeared without a word." I stammered. "Sis, from now on I'll work like a horse for you. How about I make it up to you?" Chloe snorted coldly. "That's more like it, since you're someone I Chloe have decided on. Even if you're a guy, you're going to be my sister." I said nervously. "Sis, no boss lady, just let me go." Chloe's expression turned cold. "Is being friends with me beneath you?" I laughed awkwardly. "No, no, no." Chloe tossed a set of keys into my hand. "Then it's settled. Here's a welcome gift. I had my holographic pink Ferrari airlifted over. It's parked in the private parking spot I bought for you. From now on you're my friend." Just like that, I was forced to accept Chloe's sports car key and also forced to add her contact info using my main account. Back in the dorm, I was immediately surrounded by Harry and William. They opened the school forum looking all gossipy, asking, "How did you end up sitting with Chloe? We heard she even gave you a sports car just to get your WeChat." I clicked on the photos from the school forum, various angles of the two of us. There was one of Chloe sneering while I awkwardly smiled back, captioned, "Heiress and mysterious boy chat happily." There was also a shot of Chloe handing me the sports car with me looking like I was about to cry, captioned, "Chloe spends a fortune for mysterious boy," and another of Chloe scanning my QR code, captioned, "Chloe betrays fiancé, actively adds law freshman Liam," while they even dug up my name. William said anxiously, "You better hide. Joe is about to come back to the dorm to get you. After seeing all this he's probably going to be furious." Just then Chloe sent me a message. "Hey, have you eaten? If not, I'll take you out in my new Bugatti Veyron." Attached was a photo of a flashy red sports car. "This new sports car drives way better than a Ferrari. Honestly, Ferrari engines just can't compare to Bugattis. Try it and you'll see I'm definitely right about that issue we were discussing. If you don't believe me, take the one I gave you for a spin. We can even race. I'll call my dad to book the track. I'm not hungry right now, maybe later, and I've told you before, everything I said was just boasting. Why are you still discussing with me which engine is better, Ferrari or Bugatti?" Chloe continued messaging. "Well, I don't have anyone else to discuss it with. You're the first person who's talked to me about this stuff. Everyone around me just agrees with me. Only you have a different opinion. Who else would I talk to? Anyway, which engine is better? You'll know after a couple of laps. When you're hungry, let's go eat. I can't stand another day of this school cafeteria." Before I could reply, Joe stormed into the dorm with an intimidating air. "Liam, what's going on between you and Chloe? You're sneaking around behind my back hitting on my fiancé, you bastard. Didn't I warn you not to try climbing above your station? You even dared to add Chloe on WeChat. Do you not want to stay at this school anymore? I order you to delete her contact right now. A poor low-class guy like you doesn't deserve to stand beside someone like Chloe." I never intended to get too involved with Chloe in the first place, but hearing Joe's words sparked some anger in me. First, it was your fiancé who added me. Are you blind? Second, there's been nothing inappropriate between us, and finally, whether I stay at this school isn't something you can decide with a single word, Mr. Rich Boy. After letting it all out, I felt much more mentally and emotionally stable. Joe was furious. "You just can't reason with a poor wretch like you. Don't think I don't know what's going on in your mind. Do you really think Chloe would ever look at a penniless loser like you, trying to use her to climb the social ladder, huh? Why don't you take a good look in the mirror and see if you're even worthy? If you don't cut ties with Chloe within 3 days, you can kiss your enrollment goodbye. Got it?" I sat on the bed deep in thought. What if he really managed to get me expelled in 3 days? But asking my parents to solve this problem at my age, wouldn't that be a bit embarrassing? Joe thought I was scared and he grew even more smug. "I'm talking to you, cat. Got your tongue? If you just behave and admit your mistake, I might be magnanimous enough to forgive you. After all, I can understand a poor loser trying to latch onto someone better." Harry and William, standing nearby, were so intimidated by the scene that they didn't know what to say. Alipay payment received, 5 million yuan, that was my ringtone for incoming calls. It was Chloe calling. Joe sneered, even the ringtones poor people use are so tacky. I didn't want to answer it at first but I picked up out of spite and put it on speakerphone. Perfect. Chloe, you said you treated me like a sister, right? Let's see how your fiancé bullies your sister. Chloe's angry voice came through the phone. Hey Liam, why aren't you replying to my messages? Are you trying to disappear again? Joe excitedly snatched the phone away. Chloe. Chloe replied impatiently, who is this? It's Joe, your fiancé. We were betrothed as kids. Chloe grew even more annoyed. What, Joe? Or no, Joe, I don't know you. Who do you think you are talking to me like that? Hurry up and give the phone back to Liam. Joe said pitifully. Chloe, how can you say that? This marriage was arranged by your grandfather. Chloe snapped, my grandfather is my grandfather and I am me. Even if it's true, I'm not marrying you. Got it? Who do you think you are? Hurry up and let Inky talk. I exploded. Chloe, my name is Liam, not Inky. Chloe chuckled. Liam, come out with me to test my new sports car. I'll pick you up downstairs in 10 minutes. Joe still wouldn't let it go. Chloe, how can you go on a date with another man? Chloe sighed helplessly. Sir, I don't know you. Stop calling me Chloe, dear, all the time. No wonder people have been asking about me and my fiancé lately. It's all because of your rumors. If you dare spread any more nonsense, don't blame me for being rude. After saying that, Chloe hung up. Joe shot me a glare and stormed out of the classroom. Harry asked curiously, what's going on? It's a long story, I said, and spent the next 10 minutes explaining to them how I became one of the 2 biggest show-offs in the freshman group chat. Just as I finished and hadn't even had time to take a sip of water, Chloe called again. Come downstairs. When I reached the ground floor, Chloe's car was surrounded by male college students. I happened to witness the entire process of a handsome guy asking for her number and getting rejected. Inky. I said angrily, what Inky? My name is Liam, Chloe replied exasperated. Fine, Liam. Sitting in the passenger seat of a Bugatti for the first time, I still felt a bit dazed. Chloe smiled and asked, what do you think of my new car? Isn't it cool? The sound, the sleek design. It's top-notch. I looked at her nearly perfect profile, completely baffled as to why she could be so talkative. Shouldn't the unattainable flower be aloof and reserved? Hers was more like a chatterbox on overdrive. I gave it a thorough once-over and offered an honest assessment. I think your car is nice, but honestly it's still not as cool as a Porsche, so where are you planning to take me? Chloe smirked mischievously. How about Myanmar? My family's in the involuntary organ donation business. If you say a Bugatti is cooler, I'll take you for some teppanyaki. Another long silence followed, broken by Chloe to ease the awkwardness. Fine, someday you'll think a Bugatti is cooler, I whispered. So are we going for teppanyaki now? I'm actually hungry but I'm too shy to say it. Chloe was speechless. Undeterred, I asked again, so are we having teppanyaki or not? Chloe sighed in resignation. Yes, we'll eat. The supercar pulled up in front of a teppanyaki restaurant that looked incredibly expensive. Chloe even opened the car door for me. Well, actually I just didn't know how to open a supercar door. Chloe rolled her eyes at me. How can you be so clueless? I felt a bit embarrassed. As we entered the teppanyaki place, the server greeted Chloe familiarly with, hello Miss Chloe, then led us to a window seat. It was my first time in such a high-end restaurant and my outfit, worth less than 500 yuan total, felt completely out of place. Chloe slid the menu over to me. Order whatever you like, it's on me. I was at a loss for what to do. The server seemed to notice my discomfort and kindly recommended a few dishes. I ate the entire meal feeling stiff and awkward. When Chloe paid the bill, I instinctively glanced at the receipt. Over 5,000 yuan, even though we hadn't eaten much. After the meal, Chloe wanted me to accompany her to look at perfumes, so like 2 strangers we walked into the mall together. Chloe spent money without even blinking. Whatever the sales assistant suggested she bought. We went in empty-handed and came out loaded with bags. Back in the car, stuff was piled everywhere. I sighed helplessly. Chloe, could you please not buy so much at once? Chloe tilted her head. Why? I replied in exasperation. You just wanted to buy 1 bottle of perfume, but we practically emptied the entire perfume counter. Don't you know how small your sports car is? Chloe smiled. You're right, but aside from the women's perfume I bought for myself, all the men's perfumes are for you. You're my friend. I thought about it. The sports car was pretty unoriginal and you didn't seem that thrilled about it, so I asked my dad and he said guys can give perfume as gifts too. I was stunned. But you didn't need to buy this much. Chloe looked hurt. Don't you like it? I rubbed my forehead. I do, but liking it is one thing. If you give me all this stuff, I won't be able to repay you. I sighed. I really appreciate your kindness, but I can't accept the perfume, and the sports car will be returned to its rightful owner. Chloe frowned. Why? You don't like any of them, but I do. However, I can't accept gifts without reason. Chloe was very puzzled. You're my friend. What's wrong with giving you a little gift? I actually couldn't refute that. The logic of the wealthy is so simple. In the end, I didn't accept Chloe's gift and she insisted I not return the sports car key to her. Back in the dorm, Harry and William crowded around asking, how was your date with Chloe? Are you two together now? Their gossipy hearts were burning fiercely. I pushed them aside and climbed onto my bed on my own. It's not what you think. I need to explain this from the beginning. After hearing about my day's adventure, the two of them asked in exasperation, so you didn't accept a single bottle? Not a single one. Unbelievable. Before I knew it, another 3 weeks had passed. The annual student council recruitment had begun. School life was dull and monotonous and I had no interest in joining any department. I just wanted to lie around and slack off. Chloe and I would chat every night. At first she was the one initiating the conversations, but later I started reaching out to her too. Mainly because sometimes when my mental state is unstable, going crazy with her is actually quite comfortable. Like right now, I don't want to go to any of these student council meetings at all. Chloe agrees. Who does? They're so annoying, sending me emails every day inviting me. I sighed helplessly. It's normal for you to get invitations, isn't it? Who told you to be both rich and good looking? Chloe laughed loudly. You're right, no wonder no one invites you. It must be because you're ugly and broke. I sent a voice message screaming, Chloe. Chloe replied, going to sleep now, Inky, bye. I sent another voice message yelling, Inky, my foot. Sleep your leg off. After that meal, Chloe didn't come looking for me again. We rarely ran into each other at school and most of our chats were just online. In the end, I returned the sports car key to her. Carrying it around always felt weird. After returning the car, interacting with her became much more natural. Gradually, I got used to having her around. Harry and William would always tease me and Chloe, saying we were a perfect match and were bound to start dating sooner or later. I occasionally think about this question too. I have to admit she's indeed good-looking, generous and wealthy, but the moment I remember how sharp-tongued she is, I dismiss the thought. Joe has never stayed in the dorm. Judging by his social media, he's either showing off luxury cars or expensive watches every day, a classic rich kid through and through. He still occasionally taunts me, but I don't indulge his behavior and fire right back. Perhaps because of Chloe, Joe's threat to have me expelled in 3 days never materialized and faded into oblivion. Aside from seeing him in elective classes, we hardly cross paths otherwise, which isn't so hard to accept. I'm not sure when it started, but Chloe has been acting strangely. She went from constantly praising how cool the Bugatti was to now saying things like, this movie seems well reviewed, I really want to see it. After finishing my elective class and returning to the dorm, Joe was surprisingly there. He shot me a disdainful look, lifted his chin and declared, starting today I'm moving back into the dorm after lights out at 10. None of you are allowed to talk. I'm a light sleeper and can't stand noise. Also, the dorm needs to be cleaned properly every day. Don't you three forget. If it's not spotless, I'll get angry. Some people shouldn't think that just because they've latched onto a sugar mama they can do whatever they want. A loser's fate is a loser's fate. I ignored Joe's tantrum, climbed into my own bed, put on my earphones and started venting to Chloe. I texted, your fiancé here seems a bit unhinged. Chloe replied with an angry emoji. Inky, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't have a fiancé. I sent back a helpless emoji. Starting today, Joe is living in the dorm. My peaceful days are over. Chloe asked, want me to have a word with my dad? He knows the principal here. I could get you moved to another dorm far away from him. I replied, no need, what's the worst he can do anyway? When I sent that message I was pretty nonchalant. Later I paid the price for that confidence. The next morning after early classes I returned to the dorm. Joe was shouting furiously, my bag is missing. This drew a crowd of guys from the neighboring rooms to gawk. Harry asked, what bag? Joe replied angrily, I posted it in the school group chat, didn't you see? It's a G-brand 11 limited edition, only 10 in the world, worth over 800,000. Money you couldn't earn in several lifetimes. I'm calling the police. William said, Joe, calm down first. Did you forget it somewhere? When did you lose it? Joe stomped his foot anxiously. How can I calm down? This was my dad's birthday gift to me. I lost it right after morning class. At that moment the dorm supervisor and the law department's Dean Lee were drawn over by the noise. What's all this racket? What's going on? Dean Lee glanced at us with displeasure, his expression softening when his eyes landed on Joe. Seeing Dean Lee, Joe raised his voice even louder. Dean Lee, my bag worth 800,000 is missing. One of my roommates must have taken it because it looked nice. Dean Lee hesitated. Could there be a misunderstanding? Are you sure it was lost in the dorm room? Joe snapped, of course I'm sure. I demand to search everyone's lockers. Before we could respond, William panicked and tried to stop Joe. That's my locker. Don't throw my clothes around. Dean Lee stopped William. Student, if you stand straight you don't fear a crooked shadow. Let Joe take a look. After Joe thoroughly ransacked William's locker he moved on to Harry's. I asked, Dean Lee, isn't her randomly searching our lockers a violation of our privacy rights? Dean Lee said sternly, what privacy rights? You're all classmates and I'm here. This is a serious theft incident. The school is helping to resolve the issue. Searching them will also clear your suspicions, won't it? When Joe reached my locker she shouted, my bag is in Liam's locker. This thief, he's a thief. Dean Lee said angrily, student, Liam stealing a roommate's bag is a very serious offense. I will report this to the school. I was stunned. I just got back from class and didn't have a chance to return to the dorm. In between, it wasn't me. William said, exactly, Liam was with us the whole time. How could he have had time to steal the bag? Harry added, and why would he put it in his own locker? Dean Lee, isn't it a bit hasty to jump to conclusions like this? Joe looked at me smugly. Stop making excuses, okay? I get that you're usually jealous of me, but stealing my stuff now. Liam, if you liked it I could have just given you one. No more excuses. I'm calling the police. Dean Lee said with concern, don't call the police, it would ruin Liam's future. The school would give him a major demerit and make him publicly apologize to you at next week's flag-raising ceremony. Let's just drop this. Joe replied smugly, fine, since Dean Lee says so I have no objections. Seeing the students outside pointing at me taking photos and videos I snapped, why should I take the blame? I'm calling the police. There aren't any of my fingerprints on that bag. Dean Lee said impatiently, what police? Joe has already agreed not to press charges. Don't make trouble, just prepare your written self-criticism for Monday. If you cause any more issues I won't hesitate to recommend your expulsion. With that he left the dorm and dispersed the onlookers. Joe's smug voice echoed, still acting tough. What were you thinking when you stole my bag? At this moment I felt like even 100 mouths couldn't explain it clearly. Why should I apologize? I hadn't done anything. There were no cameras in the boys' dorm. The bag had been returned to Joe. There were no witnesses and they wouldn't even let me call the police. After today I'd never be able to clear my name even if I jumped into the Yellow River. Chloe sent a message asking if I wanted to go eat today, saying she had something to tell me. I replied that I didn't want to go and was in a bad mood. Chloe smirked and asked what happened, telling me to share so she could enjoy it. Seeing her provoking message made me feel even worse. I started typing furiously on my phone explaining everything that had just happened to her in detail. Chloe didn't respond to anything I said about the incident, instead asking, "Why does this bag look so familiar?" I said angrily, "Can't you comfort me a little?" Chloe sounded puzzled. "No, seriously, this bag really looks familiar. Can you send me a screenshot of Joe's friend circle?" I sent Chloe the screenshot of Joe's friend circle. After that Chloe never replied. Shortly after, Joe hurriedly left the dorm carrying a suitcase, though I had no idea where he was going. As soon as Joe left, William and Harry hurried over to comfort me. "Liam, don't take it too hard, we believe you." I sighed and let out a bitter laugh. Joe didn't return to the dorm until evening. William and Harry stayed with me all night telling jokes and talking about life and dreams. My mood finally eased up a bit. Early the next morning someone posted a full video of what happened in our dorm on the school forum. The comment section was filled with nothing but insults directed at me, saying I'd gone to college only to turn bad, stealing others' belongings. They even dug up the incident where Chloe and I went out for a meal together and how she splurged thousands on me, gifting me a sports car. In an instant, labels like gold-digging thief and morally corrupt were slapped all over me. Walking on campus, people would point and whisper, "Look, that's the thief who stole someone's bag. He looks decent on the outside but sneaks around doing shady things behind the scenes. Hush, aren't you afraid he'll hear? What if he holds a grudge and steals from you next?" Every day in class was a torment for me. I only dared to go out wearing a hat, mask and sunglasses. The teachers and school administrators also viewed me through tinted lenses. Others could pass their pop quizzes with minimal effort, but if there was even the slightest issue with mine, I'd be lectured for ages. Joe never stayed in the dorm again after that. According to him, he was afraid I'd take his things again. He went on a rampage in the class and school group chats, loudly proclaiming I was a thief. He even spread rumors that his shampoo and body wash were disappearing rapidly, insisting I was definitely the culprit. Chloe never contacted me again after that day. I don't know if it's because she believed I was a thief who stole her fiancé's bag. Although I hadn't known Chloe for very long, the thought that she trusted the rumors over me left a bitter taste in my mouth. Time moved to Monday. Today was the assembly. I hadn't prepared a letter of apology when Dean Lee called my name and told me to step onto the stage for my self-criticism. I walked up alone. Dean Lee demanded sternly, "Liam, where is your apology letter?" I just kept my head down and said nothing. Beneath me were scrutinizing gazes and pointing fingers, with some even shouting for the thief to get out of the school. I hadn't done it, but I couldn't prove my innocence merely because of baseless accusations. I was insulted, pointed at and slandered. Dean Lee said helplessly, "Liam, as long as you apologize publicly to Joe, the school won't expel you. There's no substantial economic loss and Joe is willing to give you another chance." Dean Lee's voice echoed like a haunting chant, as if urging, "Apologize, apologize. You have no other choice." I struggled to take the microphone Dean Lee handed me, but just as I was about to speak, a voice interrupted. "Wait." Z0 strode over gracefully on her long legs and the noisy environment below fell silent. Instantly she walked unhurriedly to my side just as she had the day. She recognized me and stood still, taking the microphone from my hand. "Liam didn't do it, so why should he apologize?" Chloe's voice was firm yet gentle, her beautiful almond-shaped eyes fixed intently on me as if with a magical power that instantly put me at ease. Dean Lee was about to speak when Chloe cut him off. "Shut up, I've uploaded some things to the school's main group chat. Everyone can take a look together. First, this bag that Joe has was purchased by my mother for my father last year. It doesn't belong to Joe at all. I've posted my mother's purchase records in the group. If Joe has anything to argue, he can post his own purchase records too. Second, my father's bag went missing last month along with some other high-end luxury bags from last year that he rarely used. It was only on the day Liam was wrongly accused that our housekeeper found it. Additionally, I've shared in the group a video of the housekeeper stealing bags and clothes from our villa last month, footage of Joe freely entering our home over the past 3 months, posing for photos right after our housekeeper prepared meals, and a recent clip of Joe dragging a large suitcase into our house. Oh right, there are also photos of Joe and Dean Lee chatting happily. Finally, I want to say, I gave Liam a sports car worth millions and he didn't even want it. How could he possibly be interested in your lousy bag worth 800,000? All you mindless followers who spread rumors and talk nonsense, use your brains next time you encounter something like this. I've already reported this to the police. Joe is suspected of stealing over $5 million from our family's assets, which constitutes a major case. After Chloe finished speaking, she grabbed my wrist and pulled me off the stage. Behind us, Joe was screaming hysterically, "Liam, you bastard. You seduced my fiancée and conspired with her to go against me." I was about to turn around when Chloe covered my ears. "Don't look back, just keep walking forward." She placed her baseball cap over my face and quickly led me away from the field. When we reached the parking lot behind the school, 2 dazzling holographic pink sports cars stood out conspicuously among the rows of ordinary sedans. I couldn't picture a 5 feet 10 inches guy sitting in a bright pink sports car. "Pick one and I'll take you out for dinner and a movie to help you unwind." No refusing. Seeing her determined look, I couldn't help but smile through my tears, feeling a warmth in my heart. "How about the Bugatti Veyron in holographic pink, Miss Chloe?" Chloe smiled. "No problem." I thought to myself, call it whatever you want. Sliding into the passenger seat, I was greeted by an all-pink leather interior. Even the steering wheel was wrapped in pink. I stared at her dumbfounded. Chloe looked rather pleased. "Well, is it pretty?" I thought to myself, seriously sis, take a look. Does this really look good? And what's with this little fairy special seat sticker on the passenger side? Seeing my silence, Chloe grew anxious. So is it pretty or not? I sighed. Yes, it's pretty, it's pretty. If you ignored the twitch at the corner of my mouth, it was indeed pretty. Chloe took me to a restaurant, this time a moderately priced barbecue spot. Notably, the entire decor was pink-themed, overflowing with girlish charm. Once inside, I started looking around, leaving the sadness from the podium behind. This time I took the menu and ordered quite naturally, a portion of beef brisket, a tomahawk steak, an Angus snowflake wagyu, some mushrooms, sweet potato slices, 2 servings of cheese durian, and 2 glasses of guava juice. Chloe shot me a glare and said, ordering so much? You're paying for this meal. The two of us ate for less than 400 yuan and I treated her. After settling the bill, I couldn't help but ask, Chloe, did your family go bankrupt? Weren't you the type to flaunt money and show off? What's with the change today? Chloe gritted her teeth and replied, no. Just curious, don't mind me, but it's fine. I should have treated you anyway, you helped me out so much today. It's only right that I pay. Chloe nodded coolly. Then she took me to a private massage parlor, claiming that my tense body needed some shoulder and neck relaxation. After the massage, she took me to see a movie. Surprisingly, she didn't book the whole theater, though she did buy 4 seats just so no one would sit next to us. Something felt off. The whole day had been strange. The movie was great. Near the end, she went to the restroom and I watched the conclusion alone. Just as I was about to stand up and leave the cinema, the lights that had just come back on all went out again. I was startled, and then 2 beams of light shone down, one on me and one on the screen in front. Chloe walked gracefully forward, the light following her path. Inky, ever since I met you, I've been drawn to your fascinating soul. You're different from everyone else around me, full of energy, witty, fun, and good-looking too. My eyes just can't help but follow you. I don't know when it started, but I began to not want to think of you as just a friend anymore. Maybe I never did from the beginning. I don't have any male friends, so I went home and asked specifically. I don't need an arranged marriage for business, and I don't have any childhood betrothals, so can you give me a chance? Be my boyfriend? Chloe tossed the draft paper in her hand aside. Ugh, that's so cringy. What kind of garbage is this? And they call themselves a professional writer? I paid $800 for this trash. She looked up and stared straight at me, pinching my chin. One sentence. I've fallen for you. Starting today, you're my boyfriend and I'm yours, your wife. After saying that, she leisurely pulled a small box from her pocket. Seeing him pull out a small box, I felt a strange tension. Was this an engagement ring? Chloe opened the box to reveal a gold bar. I had personally chosen it at the store. My mom said nothing beats giving gold. It holds its value and avoids pitfalls. My dad was especially fond of it. Amidst the rising cheers all around, I happily accepted the gold bar in front of many witnesses, took her hand, and with that the story concludes.